The Cruel World Happy Mind um live stream, the freaking hug fest that she did with this dude. I have absolutely no idea who he is. um I just know that, let me get rid of that. All I know is that she was more than willing to go on here and completely took back all the concessions that she made with when it came to Ethan Klein. And the thing that I think about it that's like absolutely hilarious is she just seems like the type of person who is willing to go ahead and say whatever it is that, you know, the person in front of her is saying, because she made so many concessions when it came to Ethan Klein and when she was on the podcast. But here she's turning around and talking about all of these things, making all of these points that she never once made on the podcast. All of these things that she claims that she has an issue with that she never once brought up when it came to the podcast itself or when it came to Ethan and Hila. But she's willing to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, you know, you guys are just these evil human beings. They didn't do this, they didn't do that, blah, 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 freaking blah. And, you know, she deserves the hate. She deserves more hate, if you ask me. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, who knows exactly what's going to happen with her, but it is what it is. Now, let's get right into this. And I am not going to be reacting to this entire thing tonight. It is a fucking 4 hour, it's almost 4 hours long. I'll break this up into pieces.
I guess
no H3 fans yet.
no, no,
oh,
that's
hold
me
on.
paraphrasing there. The war
on the stream.
Yeah, it should be working, I think.
Yeah.
You can hear, they're saying yes, they can hear, I think.
Yay. I'm not nervous at all.
It is cutting a tiny bit, but just I think it should be fine.
Oh, okay.
It should be fine. I can't see why it wouldn't be. I've streamed like this on Discord. Yay and welcome and love your work and such. People have been very appreciative and supportive. So I guess
no H3 fans yet.
No, I think that all comes later.
Yeah, people being very loving and supportive when you're going to a group of people that fucking agree with you. That's amazing. You know who also thinks I'm a very handsome boy? My mom. Like, come on. Oh my God, so much love from all these people who also agree with all of the lies that I said. So amazing.
Of people being like, this thing was said, and oh my God, can you believe that this is a thing? And trying to claim that, you know, you're sort of an evil monster and that I've, you know, helped you to be an evil monster.
I don't think she's an evil monster. I think she's a fucking moron. That's my issue with her, is that she's just stupid. Like, you do all this, you know, talk about, oh my gosh, need to do more research, need to do more research. It's like, well, you should do the research first. Like, you shouldn't in any way, shape, or form be freaking oh my God, for somebody who claims they love research a lot, you don't do it. And the whole, oh my gosh, you know, show me clips of him denouncing Israel and doing this and doing that. It's like, that's your job though. Like, that's literally your job.
But
okay, so you're prepared. That's good to know.
I don't personally, like, I understand it's different for you. I mean, we'll talk about this, but I guess probably in terms of the videos you've made, I'm guessing you haven't had like previously too much pushback like this, at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I'm sure you're very used to with the content that you make, where I'm sure you could probably give me a lot of advice in this instance. This is very different for me. I started making content because I actually have really crippling social anxiety. So making content where I'm basically talking to a wall and I can prepare what I'm saying a little bit better, edit it down. That helped me a lot actually with my social anxiety, and to learn that people aren't as bad as you would think. So this
I don't know if you're saying hello again, Jess, but hello.
Situation has been interesting in that manner because it was actually really helpful initially. You know, which is actually one thing I've realized a lot when I'm talking on live streams. I say, you know, a lot. I guess we'll have a, you know, counter. But talking to a camera, editing videos down, and interacting with an online community helped me really break out of my social anxiety, especially during the pandemic when I was very isolated. And it helped me kind of open myself up a little bit more. And then this whole situation was very
I don't care.
of
I
issues
really
that I've been working
don't.
out in therapy for years, and
You've been in therapy for years. Yeah, that checks. That sounds about right with the amount of emotional dumping you did on the H3 podcast. But oh yeah, of course. You made the point to say that Ethan's podcast is just him emotionally dumping everywhere. Jesus Christ, dude. Like taking the iDubbbz talking points, that's fantastic.
so all of that has kind of coalesced in this situation. I think the only comparable incidents has been the Illuminati drama, which some people might be privy to, but which was my first sort of online drama, and it was very weird to navigate, but definitely not even close to this situation in terms of the amount of online harassment and message.
You know the crazy part, and I definitely have to go over her live. Like I don't know if I will, but I definitely want to. Well, we'll see about this weekend. Is she claims that she's gotten all this freaking harassment from Ethan or from the H3 fans, but it's like, can you show a single instance? Like you literally, when you went live, the only instances of harassment that you could even like point to is the fact that people were criticizing your video. Like you read them out and you still just don't seem to understand the difference between actual harassment, like what Ethan has gone through, and just basic level criticism of you. Like how is that a thing? How are you going to sit there and cry about freaking harassment when your only comments were, like the comments you read out were, I used to be a fan, but now that I know you're an idiot, you know?
Messages and just sort of, I'm used to really genuinely listening to the comments that I get and taking that in, the criticism, the feedback, and listening to it. Because I do think a lot of content creators will get criticism and they'll sort of deflect or they'll get very defensive, and I really never wanted to be that person.
You mean like how you deflected and said, well, I didn't say those things, you know, I was just reading what somebody else said. That like how you deflected from that criticism? Come on.
And when it came to making content, I always wanted to be very receptive to feedback, and this has thrown me for a loop in that sense, because I do think that there gets to a point where you really do have to realize that people are operating in bad faith, or that there's certain things that you shouldn't listen to or you shouldn't take in a very genuine way, because they're not operating genuinely. No. So that's been a new thing.
Okay, so is this you like conceding that the people you sourced were acting in bad faith? Is that what you're saying here? Or are you trying to like imply that Ethan is operating in bad faith during your guys' debate? Like, is that what you're saying, that they operated in bad faith during your debate? No, no, she's not that dumb, is she?
For me,
I still remember like the first time that I got like major pushback for something that I'd done, and it was different, and it was major pushback. Like there were a couple of times, especially when I'd first started making content. Like there was one time where I made a video about this barge that they were putting refugees on in the UK, and it was like horrible. Someone died there as a result of like how unsanitary and like unacceptable the conditions were. And I remember I had like 300 likes, and I had 200 comments from real accounts that were just like, they deserve worse, they deserve to die. And I was just like, I really struggled, and it was pushback that I'm like, these people are crazy. Like these are crazy.
What you're equating people having an issue with her poorly researched video to like very obviously racist or hateful genocidal maniacs? How are the two, what? How are the two even related? I'm lost here. This woman gets minimal criticism, or I'm sure she had plenty of crazy people saying some stuff, but she gets criticized for a poorly researched video, and he's like, yeah, that's just like me when people were like in my comment section saying that the people I covered deserve to die more.
Crazy things, but hearing that kind of stuff is still difficult. And even yesterday, I did a live where I'd sometimes do these kind of debate things, and one of the people was, eventually he was trafficking some very anti-Semitic things, and unfortunately that, of course, like because of the way TikTok Live operates, all of a sudden there were a lot of people enjoying that who were not my regular viewers, but were like people spamming in the chat like, oh, we love this, and just having to sit there and block them, and like it just feels a bit, I don't know, it just feels difficult, and pushing, like, I don't know, like pushback like that, where it's like, and people saying things about you that aren't true, like, oh, you support Israel because you don't want to engage in like anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Okay. I don't know your content, bro. That if that happened and that's not who you are, totally understand. I have no idea the shit that you have said or haven't said. But no, like the people who have an issue with her is the fact that she used like Jewish anti-Semitic comments, like being programmed from birth to hate Israel, or not Israel, but like to be programmed from birth to hate people, or the fact that she was implying that the Kleins were pedophiles pedophilic in nature due to having clowns and teddy bears on their on their damn clothes. Like this is non-equatable.
It's crazy to me because normally when I deal with someone like that, it's not like a chat full of morons. It's like one person who says something. But you know, I guess like as well, it's not that you haven't made videos about controversial people, right? As well, because you've spoken about people like Myron Gaines and like all of these people, you know, who are really controversial, horrible figures, right?
Who are incredibly easy targets. Let's not forget that either.
Yeah, I mean, that one was very interesting because I thought it would be very funny to wear a shirt in that video that said ban male podcasts. This recent incident definitely which is something that I spend weeks on and take very seriously. And again, do want to really engage in a serious manner. Okay, how can I do better research? How can I, if someone has any criticism of that, I do want to take it seriously. So I do think this threw me.
But you're not taking it seriously now. What do you mean? I hate the fact that she keeps saying this. Like, if you have a criticism for me, you know, I want to take that very, very seriously. You know, if you want to explain to me how it is that I could do better research, then I want to take that very seriously. But people are telling you how you can do better research. You're not taking it. You're not fucking taking it seriously. You're just sitting there complaining and calling it harassment. Why is anyone gonna believe that you actually can handle regular, normal criticism? Jesus Christ, woman.
Threw me for a loop in that sense. Because again, if there's Myron Gaines fans and they want to say they didn't like my video because I'm a dumb bitch, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna take that as seriously. Yeah, I think that but again, your work, it sounds a lot different because I feel like you're in this sort of, I mean, not sort of, you're in a very intellectual field. And I think that people that try.
God, the glazing already. This person bringing me onto their live stream to tell me that I'm a good person. Let me just
engage with it in an intellectual manner, kind of fall short maybe. And that can kind of cause a lot of insecurity in different people, a lot of anger, a lot of, and yes. I've noticed when that happens and people get defensive, it causes them to sort of reflect that onto you. And I don't want to say that happened with this situation. Again, I'm not saying that because I think I handled a lot of things terribly, which is what a lot of this conversation, I want that.
Oh, she's got that right. She certainly handles a lot of shit terribly. So why do you keep going on lives then? Why the fuck do you keep going on lives? If you know you handle shit terribly, why do you keep going into places where you have no ability to curtail what it is that you say? Okay.
To be so that people can learn from me. But I also think that maybe a lot of the backlash from the H3 fans was them not wanting to look inward at their sort of crumbling H3 empire and the fact that they are so isolated and, not wanting to reflect on.
Little did I know that being a multimillionaire with 20,000 live viewers is defined as a crumbling empire. Wow, that's crazy. That's news to me.
On this sort of,
and you're one to talk about looking inward. Like, you've literally every single live you've been on, I don't know about this one, but we're gonna see, you cried over basic criticism. Like, how in the world am I oh God, how does anyone take you seriously? I just don't understand. Is it whatever
sort of outward opinion? I don't know. Again, a lot of people on the outside were like, "Oh, this video was very balanced." Again, when the H3 fan base is
on the outside, on the outside of the H3, on the outside of the H3 people who actually have watched, and I'm not even going to say the H3 people because I don't even have to watch H3 to know that the freaking lore, the history of the internet there.
It's like, oh, you didn't do a lot of research. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. But on the other side, when they talk about Ethan's blackface and they're like, well, they're sort of defending his blackface and saying, well, you didn't look at our side of things.
It's not defense. It's the simple fact that he didn't do it. He made some crude jokes about it. I'm not going to sit here and say that he didn't. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to be like, oh no, he never made a joke about it. The simple fact though, is that he did the charcoal mask and then he made a joke about blackface. That's the difference here. Your context is out of line.
And how he did,
or you don't have the correct timeline here.
Really do that. I'm like, well, actually, since that video, there's been a lot more instances of their blackface that have come.
Then show it. What are we doing here? You keep saying these words. I don't think you know what they mean. You keep saying, oh, he's done it a lot. He's done it a lot. He's done it a lot. Okay, cool. I'll agree. That's totally okay. Awesome. Fantastic. He's done it a lot. Show me. But your response has been, no. Well, if he hasn't done it, if he has denounced this person, if he has done this thing, then you show me. That's not how it works. You're the freaking you're the damn person who's supposed to be researching this shit. You find it. Like imagine doing your job, right? Or going to your job, and your boss comes in and they're like, oh, well, you're not supposed to do it that way. You're supposed to do it a different way. And they're like, oh, well, so you do it for me then. It's like, bitch, what?
To view, and I could have provided a lot more of that. Or same thing with me not
or any of it
doing enough research. I agree. I could have researched the entire Snark lawsuit and gone into how Ethan has continually harassed this.
You could have literally just Googled watched. You didn't even have to Google the entire thing. You didn't have to research the entire thing. You could have just watched his video stated, I'm suing these creators. You didn't have to do some 50-page dissertation on the damn thing. You could have watched the video and seen exactly why it is that he's suing them. You're an idiot. And the fact that you're stupid enough and brain dead enough to turn around and claim that it's harassment, that it's continued harassment of these people, it just shows me that you probably got that, you probably got that Hassan Camp call to tell you and give you all of these talking points.
The Snark moderators gone after them.
Yes, he harassed the Snark moderators. That's what's been happening. It's harassment, because when he fires back at them, it's harassment. But when they fire at him, they're just, normal people just living life.
Tried to sue them, tried to get them to, subpoena their.
But he's not trying to sue them. He is suing them, and he's already subpoenaed them. And you know what's hilarious about this? You know what's absolutely hilarious about this? It's obvious she has no idea what she's talking about, because Denham's lawyers literally agreed with Ethan Klein that it would be best to put the lawsuit against Denham's on hold while they freaking petition and get the information of the Snark moderators. So even Denham's lawyers are okay with him going after the Snark moderators and getting their information and adding them to a lawsuit. Okay, well, she doesn't know this, but yet how exactly? If Ethan Klein is, bad person, evil human being, and freaking is harassing them because he's suing them for the harassment and defamation, then what does that make Denham's for having her lawyers agree with Ethan Klein and not not turning around and trying to fight on behalf of the H3 or the Snark moderators, bro? They could have vetoed, or they could have tried to veto that, I should say, and say no, this shouldn't happen, blah 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 blah. Fuck you.
Their information so that he could somehow link them to the people that he's doing a lawsuit for copyright infringement. Denham's case.
Hey, genius. How else would he link them to the lawsuit if he doesn't have the ability to show freaking text messages or correspondence between them, Denham's, and Caseytron and Frogan? Do you not understand what discovery is? That's what fucking discovery is. Oh God, this dumb. It's crazy how she could sit here and be like, I could have researched the lawsuit, but allow me to speak on it without researching it and knowing absolutely nothing about the freaking lawsuit. Please take my opinion as something that is, valuable.
Caseytron, Frogan, I could have gone into that as well, how he refuses to let any of that go. I could have done a lot more.
Refuses to let any of that go. Okay, so she's just going full mask off. She's just going full mask off. When it came to the freaking debate, she was conceding, she was talking about this, that, and she was trying to pretend like she wasn't bigoted or that she wasn't completely biased. She was like, yeah, I could see how that was biased. But here she's just straight up saying that Ethan Klein is harassing these people who very obviously committed copyright infringement. And the worst part about it is she doesn't even know. Ooh, lemons. She doesn't even know the fact. She doesn't even know that they themselves said that they were providing copyright infringement during their live streams. This is the type of research she does. This is the research she does. Insane.
For research in that aspect. And so I think that I agree with them on the other side of things. And a lot of times when they say things like, oh, he's apologized for his slurs, where are those apologies? I'd like to see.
That's your job. That's your job. Oh my God, that's your job. That's your fucking job.
Clips of those. I would like to see those extensive
Imagine freaking like you have to write like a paper or something. Like your professor tells you, oh, hey, you have to write a paper on Nelson Mandela. And you're just like, well, Nelson Mandela was a terrible person, got arrested for terrorism. And yeah, that's about it. And they turn around and they tell you, okay, well, that's not his entire life. Like he was a freedom fighter. He was in politics. He, you know, was one of the people who championed for the end of apartheid. And you just look at your professor and you're like, well, show me the information then. Show me the information. Send me a link. Show me. It's like, that's your job. That's literally your job to do. What do you, oh my God, dude. This is literally, this chick is a absolute poster child for making stupid people famous.
Extensive clips, because just saying a comment of, oh, he's apologized. Where are they? I haven't seen it. I haven't.
Okay. Well, if just saying he apologized isn't enough, then you saying that he hasn't isn't enough either. Like, do you not see how that's a two-way street here?
I've seen an extensive clip.
And
a lot of those are hidden. Sorry, I was going to say a lot of those are hidden behind membership platforms. So
that's also a lie. That's also a lie. And I know that this is a lie because I literally watched an hour-long video, and you know what? I'll probably go over it on the weekend as well. But there's an hour-long video that this small creator made where it's just clips of all the things that Madison here accused Ethan Klein of not doing or doing. And then the following clip after that is him denouncing like Netanyahu, him turning around and apologizing for the things that he's done or said, et cetera, et cetera. So that's probably going to be one of the things that I react to this weekend.
If you, that's where I think the echo chamber happens, where everything's hidden behind a paywall. And if he wants to, have something that's accessible for people for research, it should be available for all. Instead, he's creating more of an echo chamber.
Dude, that's not what. It's not his responsibility. If you're trying to do research, it's not his responsibility to give you the clips or to provide you with the research necessary. You're the one who decided to go out and research him. You're the one who decided to make a 3-hour video on him. Like, that's what's annoying the hell out of me. This woman is so freaking she's like, it's like she's allergic to taking responsibility. Like, where's the freaking accountability here? It's your job. You're the one who decided to make this video. Ethan didn't say, hey, make a 3-hour video on me. Like, if that was the case, I'd be more than willing to accept the fact that he should have helped you out. But that's not what happened. You decided to do it.
Chamber where he thinks that his audience thinks one narrative because it's all hidden behind a paywall and not accessible to all. So, yeah,
you're an idiot.
Also, I think it's kind of like the Elon Musk Nazi salute. If you asked Ethan today, go on then, put fake tan on in that way as a joke. Do it now. Make a video called The Black Challenge where you cover your face in charcoal. Do it now. See how.
Yes, do it now. That's the most important part of that. Do it now. You know how he did it so many years ago when YouTube had a different landscape and there was a different political feeling for that type of stuff? There's, it's crazy. It's like these people don't seem to understand that there's a change in tide. Like, what the hell? Do it now? That's like me saying, oh, well, go buy somebody now. Buy someone into slavery now. Buy them now. It's like, bro, the world changes. Like, the world fucking changes, man. What was okay on YouTube 10 years ago isn't going to be okay now. It's the whole reason why their community guidelines gets updated every couple of years. I don't understand how you don't, understand that. That's
see how
crazy.
people interpret it. Do it if you think that was like that was not the joke of it. And also, I think it's like just watching him say like, no. These actually this wasn't it. We did the white challenge as well. We did all of these other things. What there is to say is at that same time you were also regularly saying the N-word. And I believe there are points at which he's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that and I shouldn't have.
Yes. But he's also apologized for it and stopped doing it. What's the defect here?
Have done that. But there's also this dissonance of maybe someone might actually point to this and be like, hey, it was kind of weird that you were doing all those things years ago. And now you're still like...
You know who pointed out that it was bad for him to do it? Ethan pointed out that it was bad for him to do it. Like, what the fuck? He pointed it out to himself and said that it was bad for him to do it. Like, what? He didn't... Christ, dude. And she wants to go ahead and talk about, oh, how echo chambers are bad. Fuck off.
Like, oh, well, it's not that. It's not that. It isn't that. It isn't that. Even though you have admitted, you know, that you said these words quite regularly, and that and of course on YouTube at that time it was more acceptable to be doing them. But
so there, you just completely defeated your argument. You just completely defeated your argument. It was more acceptable on YouTube at the time to do that. It wasn't problem. I mean, yes, it was problematic at the time, but the freaking I should say the tone of YouTube was very different.
Also, you're a 40-year-old. 40-year-old. You're a 40-year-old, so you were 30 then. And I think everyone has the excuse of fucking up when they're in their early teens, late teens, even early 20s. You know, kind of your.
Okay. So if that's your argument that even in your early 20s you're okay to fuck up, Madison is 26, which means she's in her mid 20s. So by your own logic, Madison doesn't have the right to fuck up. You fucking moron. You absolute fucking buffoon. See, do you not understand how dumb these people are? Like, come the fuck on. Here you are saying, well, you know, you're okay. You're okay to screw up, even, you know, up to your early 20s. But then this bitch is 26 years old. She's in her mid 20s, which means by your definition, she can't screw up anymore.
Maybe not early 20s as much, actually, I'd say. I think it's really...
Oh, never mind. He reneged on that. He reneged on it. You can't screw up in your early 20s. Well, Madison, you're SOL, sweetie. You, by freaking Chris Kunzler, what a fucking name. By his own definition, you don't have the right to screw up. Sorry, sweetie.
A time for growing and changing at that point, because you probably experienced something more than just the school and, you know, high school and whatever that you went to, and you've probably been out into the world. But I think that, like, the like ultimate thing as well is, like, how has the actual experience been of, I don't know, like, the kind of harassment and like, what has that been for you, if you're happy to talk about it?
It really depends on the day to day, I think, and how much I'm willing to shut it out or engage with it. I think.
Please show any of the harassment that you received. You have done none of it. Like, there's better examples of harassment in your comment sections than the comments you specifically chose to read.
When everything first happened, again, it was a new experience for me, as I kind of mentioned, and I was really surprised. I was kind of talking about this with my editor.
Oh my God, who the hell
I've been working with for forever.
cares?
And one of the most upsetting aspects is
this is a fucking hug box.
They tried to claim that my team is like a team of snarkers, and you know, I didn't have any involvement. They're the snarkers, which is hilarious to me because they're
okay. When you say them, there's no way you're referring to the Kleins. They made a joke. A fucking joke.
Two dudes, one in the UK, one in Australia, who I have been working with for almost 5 years at this point, and
who cares?
Almost 5 years, right? 4.5. But anyways, so my editor, I was kind of talking about this, and when all of this happened, I was just kind of surprised, and yeah, just wanting to understand, because I was so I really thought most people would understand. I was really surprised by the fact that there would be any sort of confusion on Palestine or any sort of, divide. I thought most people were kind of in agreement that what Israel was doing is fucked up. And I guess the flood of comments that were saying that what I had said was anti-Semitic, that just...
They didn't say you were anti-Semitic because you said Israel's or genocide bad. That's not why. They said you were being anti-Semitic because you said that Ethan, a Jewish man, is programmed from birth to have the talking points that he has. They also, I mean, at least just on my my own opinion, it's a little anti-Semitic for you to claim that a Jewish person who has, been the subject of a lot of anti-Semitic shit is paranoid, that he's just this paranoid Jew who sees anti-Semitism everywhere he goes, something that Hassan Piker himself has said and something that the freaking H3 Snark moderators have said about him. Like that you're completely twisting around what it is that people are saying about you. I hate you. I hate you so much. You are too dumb for your own good.
Just completely disagreed with my stance. I was very confused on that. And just from a sort of morbid curiosity, was reading comments and messages, wanting to understand what their viewpoint was and how they had gotten to such a divide. And then also just in my personal life, I think I mentioned this to you, I had a neighbor who I respect greatly, who's a journalist, a writer, who after everything had come over and sort of lectured me about how, that's maybe harsh, again, I feel bad because apart from this, she identifies as a feminist, has invited me to a lot of book clubs, and is just but just about how she had taken a trip to the Middle East and felt that everywhere else
My God, this is such
there was
word
the harassment.
salad.
Of
Who
course, there was the hate,
cares?
the people saying that I did terrible research, and the people
You
that were
did.
also just calling me a Nazi, photoshopping Auschwitz in the background of photos of me.
Oh no, guys, I'm getting trolled. They used Photoshop and put Auschwitz behind me. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. I need to cry some more.
Things of that nature. But I think that was the strangest aspect to me to sort of understand, because at this point, with how much things have escalated, with how many, with the genocide that's happening, how many Palestinians have died, how could people still feel this way? That's what I'm trying to understand. And
because there's evil people in this world. Like, congratulations, you're getting a smidget of what the clients have had to deal with for like the last 5 years.
And I went on the podcast to essentially try and see if I humanized myself, if I tried to show that I was, trying to understand where my research went wrong, but also have a real conversation, like a real human being, to Ethan, if his audience would even be willing to take that in. And there were essentially a few days where there was a bit of a confusion within the audience. I got a few kind messages from H3 fans that were essentially like, welcome to the family, which isn't not a cult at all, but welcome to the family. I really liked hearing you speak. I really liked your story on this, or I like that you went on the podcast, had the bravery to do so. I liked hearing that you were willing to learn about this, or that you admitted that you were wrong on that, whatever it was. And then after a few days, it's almost like they were kind of put back in line. And essentially, I was a Nazi again. I'm anti-Semitic, and they don't like.
There's no way you're sitting here and being like, oh, well, Ethan just went ahead and flipped a switch and made sure that all the people who were nice to you are now evil to you again. Come on, dude. That's so annoying. So what? Okay, so their change in opinion of you is Ethan's fault. That is the dumbest thing ever. That is just the most stupidest paranoid thing ever. And I'm just gonna say paranoid because you don't seem to have an issue with calling people paranoid when they have what they believe to be, very have good claims to somebody being out for them or having it out for them.
Like me because I didn't fully take down the video. The goalpost shifted, and they, essentially went on attack again. My husband calls them the flying monkeys, not me. I'm reporting what someone else has called them, because essentially they will, whatever is iterated by Ethan, it feels like after a while they'll sort of disseminate that attack. And
that's crazy that you're saying that when literally your entire video was a dissemination of information gathered by people who dislike Ethan. How are you, bro? It's crazy. It's absolutely mind-boggling that this dumb bimbo had fucking a portion in her video titled "Rules for Thee but Not for Me" and double standards. Like, you're an idiot. Oh my God. I hate stupid people.
That's really sad to me. I think that there is a divide of opinions, but after a while, they're all sort of put back in line within this echo chamber of the H3 subreddit, and that's really concerning to me. And I think that.
So why didn't you bring any of this up when you were on the live? Why didn't you bring any of this up when you were on the live stream then? Why did you wait until you were in this stupid hug box of a live stream to say anything of this nature? What, you can't handle opposition? You can't handle a little pushback? Like, seriously, you folded on and conceded on every single point that was made by Ethan, and here you are just gleefully taking every little thing back to your heart's content because this person's giving you zero pushback and just in complete agreement with you.
That a lot of fears that they're having, a lot of is sort of being used against them. So,
well, I think that, on this topic of just sort of claiming that the entirety of the reason that people are upset with Ethan boils down specifically to an anti-Semitic hatred is a really dangerous idea, because you are perhaps.
Oh my gosh, that's not that. Oh, you're so annoying. You're both idiots. You're both idiots. Congratulations. Idiot one found idiot two. Like, that's, yes, there is more than enough of a reason to actually criticize Ethan and to dislike him, and it doesn't have anything to do with freaking anti-Semitism. I'm more than willing to say that. But the fact that you guys are trying to go ahead and say that that's the way he's trying to go along with this, that he's just sitting there being like, oh, everything is anti-Semitism. That's not it. He calls out anti-Semitism when something is very obviously anti-Semitic.
Perhaps convincing Well, no, you are. You're convincing people who don't know as much about Judaism, who don't know as much about Israel, that the reason that people are doing this to Ethan is because they're, anti-Semitic monsters. That everyone who has a problem with Ethan does not actually lie with his behavior, with his conduct, but actually because they're snarkers who just hate him and want to ruin him and his family's lives. But there's also...
I agree 100%. But you know what? If they are just snarkers who hate him because of their anti-Semitic views, then that's also valid too. Like, you can't just sit there and say, oh, nobody hates him because they're anti-Semitic.
Also, this very real element of he is one of the biggest content creators on YouTube in terms of having a podcast, as the amount he hosts it and all of these things. And on multiple occasions, he himself has admitted that he has said things about Palestine which were unacceptable. And yet, even when he was talking to you, he was like, what you got to...
You know what's crazy? You know what's absolutely freaking crazy? Is she literally just asked for somebody to provide evidence of the fact that he's like recanted on some of the things that he has said in the past. And this dude literally just like confirmed that he has. These people are idiots, absolute freaking morons, and she's just gonna completely gloss over it. I hate this so much. Oh, well, show me evidence that he's apologized. Show me evidence that he's done, that he's shown growth. Show me this. And the dude you're freaking on the podcast with literally confirms that he's turned around and admitted that he said some bad things or had some bad takes. I fucking hate you.
What I understand is this is all anti-Semitism. This is all a snark campaign against me, rather than the fact that there has been a huge amount of people who have actually come out and said, I don't know how to feel about this, that like this is not okay. And that a lot of these people do like Ethan and have liked him for a very long time, but all of a sudden have said, actually, we don't feel comfortable with this. And, some of it is to do with the shift on public perception of Palestine and public knowledge of the atrocities going on there. But also, it's ultimately having to actually confront what he believes on Palestine. The second that it became difficult to think about, actually, you know what, like maybe Palestinian liberation comes above the feelings that I'm experiencing, he has found it nigh on impossible, or the criticism that I am experiencing. And I think, like, on this topic, of course, no one wants to be accused of being an anti-Semite, because obviously, in terms of extermination of human beings, we're taught and we're told that the anti-Semites have done some of the most abhorrent things in history. Like, many people view all extermination through just the lens.
Wait. What do you mean we're taught? We're taught and we're told? Like, it's history. I mean, I guess technically that means we were taught and told, but that's literally history. Are you trying to say that the Jews didn't murder, or the Jews didn't get murdered in the millions? Is that like your stance here? Like, I highly doubt that that's his stance. Like, I'm not saying it at all or trying to imply it. It's just, I'm not exactly understanding what he means by we were taught and told.
Of the Holocaust. They don't really know about other things. They don't really have any thoughts about... There was even, I can't remember who said this, but they said it is interesting that we bear in mind... It might be Boaz Everon. I'll see if I can find it. 1 second.
I mean, on that note, when Hila was trying to talk to me about how she didn't fully say she disavowed Rudy Giuliani's statements. I think it was Ethan that said that. But what I was trying to express was essentially, if you have the past that Hila has, you sort of need to, if you hear a statement like Rudy Giuliani's that,
What does that mean? If you have the past that Hila has, what the hell does that mean? What, because she was forced into mandatory service by the IDF or in the IDF? Is that what you're talking about? I'm going to give the grace that you're not like, that's what you're talking about. And you're not saying it because she's Israeli.
The Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill American citizens. You need to fully say, hey, that's fucked up and not true, and go with, with your full chest or full voice, disavow that statement. To just sit.
Oh, okay. So we're moral frogging here. That's what it is. We're moral frogging. You're a joke. You're an absolute freaking loser. And it's absolute insane that you could say all of this while your husband serves in the freaking in the army. Are you absolutely kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? What are you? Every time something happens in the Middle East, does your husband turn around and go, "Oh, I disavow that"? Oh, all the hundreds of children that we murdered over there, disavow all of that. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? Even as a freaking Marine, it's easy to turn around and just look and be like, yeah, these are bad things that occurred. These are atrocities that happen. But I'm not going to be forced or bullied into having to be disavowing every single thing that something happened, or every single time some atrocity occurs simply because I served in the fucking armed forces.
Sit there and kind of silently say, I mean, and shake your head. First off, that is a comment. It is a comment. It is a comment, but also it's it's not speaking out enough. It is not.
Who are you? Who are you? Who made you the moral arbiter? Guys. Jesus came back to the world as a freaking 120-pound blondie retard. Apologies, everybody. I did not know. I didn't know we were in the presence of the perfection of the one on high. My God, who are you to tell somebody how much of a disavowing they have to give simply because they served in the IDF? Hey, listen, I can promise you this. If tomorrow an ex-Marine goes ahead and blows up a fucking building, you're not going to have me saying I'm sorry or I completely disavow this or something. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to be like, damn, that's fucked up. That's bad. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to be like, oh my God, this is so poor. This is terrible. This is evil. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I ever served in the military. Oh, please forgive me.
Blatantly, if you have a past where you grew up in Israel and you are fully aware of what Israeli...
Oh my gosh, there's no way. I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you were not hating this woman because she's Israeli. Unfortunately, I'm apparently too good of a human freaking being. Apparently, I should just not be giving you the benefit of the doubt for anything. You're literally saying she needs to apologize because she was born in Israel? Are you freaking kidding me? Let me just re-listen to that real quick.
Blatantly, if you have a past where you grew up in Israel and you are fully aware of what Israelis are taught from a young age about Palestinians, you have the knowledge. You actually have a great depth of knowledge, which...
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
That's crazy. There's no way. I very, not often, I shouldn't say that. I very seldom accuse somebody of being racist, but holy mother of freaking God, bigotry and racism to the freaking degree. What made you think this was a good idea? Hila, listen, girl, you need to apologize for being born in Israel, okay? I don't know why you're just not understanding. You were born in Israel. You know what Israelis were taught. It's time to walk down the street and have people yell shame at you while you're flogging yourself. Are you serious right now?
You could use to speak out and educate people about what is happening in a positive way to teach people.
You live in America. Did you ever speak out about the Trail of Tears? Have you ever spoken out about slavery? Have you ever spoken out about the numerous atrocities and genocides that Americans have, been involved in? Am I to believe that there's videos of you speaking out about this stuff? Like, God damn.
About the genocide that's happening.
How about did you ever speak out about when we invaded or when we went to Kuwait and we just dropped bombs on a whole bunch of families? Or how about all the drone strikes that Obama sent over in the Middle East? Or here's a good one. How about the Korean War? How about any of the other wars where we were dropping freaking napalm? How about the fact that in World War II we burned people with flamethrowers and it was seen as such an evil thing for that it was banned by the Geneva Convention, and we were literally the only ones doing it? Like, did you speak out against that? You live in America, you have this information. According to you, that's all it takes for you to need to turn around and apologize. Fuck you. Yes, shame. This dumb bimbo continues to talk about how she doesn't know anything, but wants to sit there and moral frog about this shit like she's the freaking arbiter. She's the freaking arbiter of all things that are moral and good in this world.
And help with what's happening and the pro-Palestinian movement. Instead, she is silent when it matters most. She is, shaking her head, not disavowing with complete, sincerity and clarity. And instead...
How do you know that? What you're saying she's not disavowing with complete sincerity? Who are you to say that? Who are you? Like, seriously, who are you to be saying all of this BS? I'm about to die. Fuck, I hate this woman so much.
Instead, she gets defensive when others accuse her of being a little bit, not a little bit, Zionistic.
No, she gets offended when somebody literally says that she needs to apologize for being born in Israel. Are you kidding me? You literally just said that she needs to apologize for being born in Israel. And you're trying to make it sound like she's upset over somebody turning around and telling, I fucking hate this woman so goddamn much. Oh my God, you're an idiot. You're an absolute freaking idiot. I hate you.
I don't know if that's a full phrase, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like being a bit of a Zionist would be the term I'd use, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that is how I feel. I forgot I was going to say something else, but yeah. So yeah.
Oh, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Oh, well, as long as it's how you feel, that's all that matters. That's wonderful. It's how you feel. You just feel that somebody who's an Israeli should apologize for being born in Israel and for what they were taught. That makes total sense.
As far as that goes, I deleted the clip of them saying that because it in my video, because if they're gonna, you know, especially I think again, Hila did not fully, but I extended the will, I guess, in good grace. If they're gonna say, you know, they disagree with Rudy Giuliani's statements, fair enough. I'll delete that. But that's my.
She also, okay. How in the world are you going to sit there and be like, well, she said that she disavows him, so we're going to just, you know, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and I'm going to take that out of the video. You just spent like the last 10 freaking minutes talking about how she needs to disavow it more. So if it wasn't up to your standard of disavowal, why'd you take it out of the video then? Do you not understand how that's completely contradictory to what you've been like saying this entire time? You just went on a whole ass diatribe about how she needs to disavow it even more. But yet oh my God.
You know, statement on that. You have an opportunity, you know, with your past, Ethan as well, living in Israel, you have the education and experience of knowing what is being taught in Israel, what they're saying, what.
So they need to apologize for what's being taught in another country. So does that mean that we need to apologize for the things that is taught in this country? Hey, did you apologize, Madison? I don't know exactly where you live, but something tells me it's probably in a very blue state. But did you apologize to people in the North for the fact that the South after the Civil War taught the Civil War as, and I quote, the war of northern aggression? Did you ever apologize for that, lady? Like, come on. What's this moral flogging ass bullshit, dude?
What is done over there in ways that many Americans are not experiencing right now, which is very important knowledge, I think, for right now. And instead, you are silent and you do not speak out about.
Silent? You pulled up a 15-year-old Reddit account of his or a 10-year-old Reddit account of his that literally had him denouncing Netanyahu and Israeli tactics against the Palestinian. What do you mean silent? You dumb bitch.
That aspect, and I think that could be very important education.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this ultimately taps into the problem, which is if you actually look at what Hila specifically thinks about Palestine, it's not really very congruent. And I think that, like, also, I think appreciating the full significance of that statement is not even something I did when I previously talked about it, because you can see that actually pretty much everyone else there has a strong reaction to it. But that is the kind of rhetoric that leads to the killing of children in Gaza. That's not like some crazy thing. Like Israeli soldiers say, well, all Palestinians are terrorists. And there are, maybe even if every government official in Israel doesn't believe that, there are a considerable amount of them who do. There is, Israel's finance minister said of Palestinian children that he didn't want his wife to give him a birth next to Arabs because they were birthing the next generation of his enemies, their enemies. And this is how the kind of rhetoric.
What does that have to do with Ethan? What does that have to do with Hila? If that's what they are saying, then hate them for it. That has nothing to do with them. Like, unless they're freaking co-signing it, what does it have to do with them? Absolutely freaking nothing.
That leads to the killing of children becomes prominent, becomes exist, like, you know, comes to fruition. How killing massive amounts of people is no longer just something that's unimaginable and makes most people balk and think, my God, how could you ever do that? Instead, all of a sudden, it is legitimate and it is justified because their children are taught to hate.
What? Just because some idiots say it doesn't make it justified. I assume what you're trying to say is the fact that it'll make it justified in certain and people's eyes who, you know, drink the Kool-Aid. That I'll give you a gracious, you know, interpretation of what you just said. Then again, the last time I did that to freaking Madison over there, she went ahead and said that Hila needs to apologize for being Israeli.
And it is also the same logic which continually moves away from seeing Israel as the problem, which is ultimately the problem of kind of both of them, that they draw an equivalency between Palestinians and Israelis. Israel is the one that is a nuclear armed superpower. Israel is the one who refuses to remove settlements from the West Bank that are illegal under international law. Israel are the colonizers who got 78% of their historic home.
Bad people doing bad things. A tale as old as motherfucking time. Yes, bad. Very bad. What does this have to do with Ethan and Hila? What? Like, I'm still trying to figure this out. What does this have to do with either of them? Like, are you gonna pull up a clip and like show me that they like didn't denounce this when it was out there, or that they endorsed it? What did they do? That, like, why? Why are you going on this whole ass diatribe about another fucking country in their politics? Like, what? This is about Ethan, not about Israeli politics. Holy crap. She sounds like she is angry that that Hila should have been talking back, saying she was being talked to when taught. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, Jess. It sounds like she needs what she requires is for Hila to turn around and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry for the things that I was taught." But it's like, if that's the case, then we also need to be sorry for the things that we were taught here in America. Madison over here needs to turn around and be apologetic for things that were taught here, because you know what, we were taught a lot of crazy shit here in America that was turns out to not have been completely freaking true. Like, seriously, y'all remember 9/11?
Of Palestinians' historic homeland in the Oslo Accords in 1993. And that,
or hell, Benghazi. That's a fantastic one right there. Benghazi, yeah, everyone remember that. How the Americans were taught that we weren't in the Middle East under CIA protection, operating in a fucking fob that was 100% illegal at the time.
And that wasn't enough. They still had to continue expanding settlements. They didn't instantaneously take decisions that no further Israeli government could have ever reversed by just saying,
okay, Israel bad, Israel bad. I get it, Israel bad.
Actually, one group of people came here and stole the land from the people who live there. It is crazy. And all
and
these
that's why I can... And that's why I can fully understand the issue with saying conflict in my original video, because I could see how that sort of creates that sort of equalization when that's not the case at all. And that's the importance of saying a genocide is happening right now at this time in particular, when people are trying to, when it's so clearly not a both sides situation, people are still trying to.
Yes, it is a one-sided genocide. That does not mean you can't criticize the other side for also committing a fucking genocide. Are you kidding me? So what you're saying, because that Palestine has turned around and had innocent people killed and murdered by the hands of the Israeli government and the Israeli people, that we can't sit there and say, hey, you know, bombing innocent men, women, and children, setting them on fire and dismembering them during a goddamn concert isn't a good thing? Is that literally what you're trying to say right now?
Demonize the Palestinians in whatever way they can, particularly Hamas, to create this sort of equalization, well, both sides are bad narrative. And so calling it a conflict can only lead to that. And so I can see that. I mean, that's what I forgot to say in the beginning. I was recommended to read this book and took notes of it. And I still have a lot of ways to go and in terms of education and everything, but that's some of the notes and which I've told you personally. But one thing that I particularly wrote down that I thought was interesting is when speaking on the two-state solution, language like a land for two people, the peace process, the Israel-Palestine conflict, the need to stop violence on both sides, the two-state solution allows politicians to remain ineffective out of either will or necessity. And
oh my gosh, are you serious? Another freaking written letter to people? Oh, you need to hang it up. Hang it up. Stop. If you're going to pre-write something, it just simply means you're terrible. You're absolutely terrible. You don't have the ability to think on the fly. You don't have the ability to come up with this in the moment, or you don't, like, is this just something that you don't have like an actual stance on? Is that what we're learning here? You don't have a real stance on this? You had to go ahead and freaking pull out a Word document in an effort to do that? Like, this is just pathetic. This is absolutely freaking pathetic.
And so essentially, especially in the US, it feels like that sort of narrative of just, oh, both sides are bad, or let's create peace, and oh, the two-state solution has sort of created this idea of just kicking the ball down the line. Is that the saying?
Yeah. Kicking the can down the road.
Yeah. Where
so you're upset that there are people here in America who are dumb enough and uneducated enough that they would call this conflict a both sides issue. Yet you yourself are dumb enough to turn around and say highly anti-Semitic things and source highly edited and misleading information for a video on a person that you're trying to be critical of? Are you serious? Do you really have any high ground to be doing that? Is he saying that?
It's sort of and just creating this sort of about which is not the narrative at all, but it sort of it soothes the politicians who are continuing to sort of bolster up the evil that is happening. And so having any sort of verbiage like conflict can also further that as well, and that's definitely something that I fully agree with. And what was I going to say on that? Yeah, and I think that also the US, it plays on the US's longstanding Islamophobia and how we are we do not want to face our own Islamophobia because it would cause us to face our own wars that have been very much related to Islamophobia. And
no. You're not about to rewrite history, sweetheart. America has never gotten into a war based off of Islamophobia, okay? That has never happened. We got into a war based off of crude oil and political favor. If you're talking about the war in Afghanistan, that was all over crude oil prices and political favor. Not to mention the fact that, you know, we kind of trained and armed ISIS. We kind of gave them all the weaponry to form the militia group that was now known as ISIS. So when they rose up and said that they were no longer going to, and started attacking settlements, we kind of responded to that. How in the world are you this dumb? How do you not know your own American history, yet you want to turn around and tell somebody that they need to be apologetic for their country's history? Fuck you.
Have preyed on the Americans' Islamophobia rather than, you know, the reasons behind it. And so I think that all of that is sort of interconnected in my opinion.
Many, I think there's also a thing that you have to appreciate, that many people in American and British society enjoy the killing of people that they deem as others. You hear it in their rhetoric about how, oh, well, these are evil, monstrous terrorists who are responsible for the violence that's inflicted upon them and such, rather than ever confronting, like, hang on a second, this didn't begin with this political group, and it won't end with it. And until the West takes a look in the mirror and stops trying to create a world in which there are just these evil, monstrous others who destroy the world and destabilize it, rather than confronting others who play the part in that we back up and support and act.
Yes, fear-mongering bad. 100% agree with you. Fear-mongering, very bad. What does this have to do with Hila and what does this have to do with Hila and Ethan Klein? What am I missing the point here? Like seriously, am I missing the freaking point? What does this have to do with either of them? They didn't do they didn't do any of the things that they're like getting upset over. They're not the ones who said this stuff. They're not the ones who did this stuff. Like, what? Whatever.
As if, you know, our fight for democracy is some actual true thing, rather than saying, actually, we've just interfered in the world and destroyed so many human beings' lives because it was expedient to do so for maintaining what we wanted in the world. Like, that's not, you know, we have done that over and over again throughout the history of the United Kingdom, throughout the history of America. All of these things are like undeniable, and it's something that happened after the fall of the Soviet Union. People already had problems with Islam, but it really took off because we needed our new enemy in Western society to be like, look how bad they are. Our justification for going to war, it shifted towards the Islamic world and Muslims more generally, and even non-Muslim leaders, because it was like, well, it's expedient for us to have some enemy that people can imagine. And I think people addressing this kind of
Okay, but that's you literally trying to say that we didn't have an enemy when it came to ISIS. We literally had an enemy there. This is the issue with people who talk about stuff that they know absolutely fucking nothing about. Okay, we armed ISIS and freaking Osama bin Laden prior to them ever actually becoming ISIS, because they were fighting a holy war over in the Middle East. And the CIA, okay, there's this fantastic movie, and I know what you're saying. Oh, a movie, it's just a movie, okay, but it's a fantastic movie that encompasses what happened and how we, America, created ISIS. It's called Charlie Wilson's War. Senator Charlie Wilson, who funded the freedom fighters, quote unquote, the Afghani freedom fighters, or the I'm pretty sure Iraqi or Afghani, whatever the fuck, freedom fighters, who was being led by Osama motherfucking bin Laden at the time with explosives. Our RPGs, AK-47s. Like, we armed ISIS to fight to help them fight a fucking holy war. And then you know what happened afterwards? We do what we always do. We pulled the fuck out. We did not set up the camps that we said we were going to set up. We did not turn around and help and provide schools and medical and medical hospitals. We didn't do any of that, which pissed Osama bin Laden and his family, his royal family off. So they turned against us. Like, it's like, oh my God, you morons, you're all freaking stupid. How do you not know? And this is just like a crude retelling of what occurred. This isn't even like play by play. I could get more into depth, but it's like, why? Why are you guys trying to, one, bring up the Middle Eastern conflict between America and, well, the Middle East, and you're also trying to bring up all of the crazy genocide shit that's happening between Israel and Palestine? What does any of this shit have to do with Ethan Klein or Gila Klein? What, like, why are we spending the last, I don't know, fucking 10, 20 minutes on this shit?
Of racism is something that matters so much in terms of building a better world.
Apparently they started the war or something. Apparently, maybe that's what they did, I guess.
Because I don't think we can just
all those hundreds of years ago,
people making the world bad, you know? Like, I really don't. And I think that anyone who isn't willing to confront that is someone who is going to cause problems. Because the system in which we live is also incredibly violent. And our support for Israel has inflicted far greater tragedy on the Palestinian people that has been sustained for decades. I know I said this to you earlier, but
he's not wrong. He's 100% not wrong about that. I will give him that. Our support of Israel has 100% done a significant amount of harm to the Palestinian people. Okay, I agree. What does this have to do with Ethan and Gila?
Like, understanding Palestine through exclusively spectacular violence like October the 7th or the Gaza genocide misses out on the much more benign. And in many examples, we actually see how the benign
October 7th was Hamas. Like, what are we? Okay.
Policies that aren't just straight up killing someone can be so bad. We see them in the cases of Native Americans who their children were ripped away from them and sent to these schools where they were to be.
Oh my God, didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say, where's her apology video for the Trail of Tears? Didn't I just fucking like 30, 40 minutes ago say, oh my God.
Educated to not be a Native American anymore. People literally see that as genocide, but they want you to focus on Palestine in terms of like, Israelis and Palestinians are both victims when every single day Palestinians are degraded and subjected to violence wherever they may be. They are surveilled, their houses are taken from them, they are constantly at risk.
Yeah, they're more of a victim. We understand that. Totally on the same page with you, broski doodle. What does this have to do with Ethan Klein? I'm still failing to understand this connection here. Like, are you saying that he should be saying that all of this stuff is bad? Pretty sure he has already.
Of being killed by the Israeli war machine. Their houses, I have friends who grew up there and they spoke to me about like a thing.
Oh my God, personal shit. I don't freaking care. Personal anecdote. Blah, 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 blah.
Aspect. But at the same time, genuinely, as I had said on the podcast, when I have I want to listen when it comes to instances of Muslim individuals, people who are, transgender, LGBTQ+, really looking at their lived experiences in the current day and how they are experiencing life, what are instances of homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, and how I can actually examine that and speak to that. And so that's normally how I go about making content. So when so many people are telling me that, it really made me think, oh, okay, what did I do? Did I really genuinely misstep? Did I really?
There's absolutely no way you're sitting here turning around and being like, oh my gosh, did I actually do this? Am I bad? Did I really do that? And doubling down on Ethan and Gila Klein being bad. Like, there's no freaking way you're sitting here trying to say this. Come on, man. Come on. Just stop the cap already.
Say a Nazi talking point here. I really did question that deeply and become afraid, especially, like I said, because of my friend. And that was really, really hard for me in that situation, just because, again, she was one of the first friends I made after becoming a mom, and making friends is a really hard experience. A lot of mothers can probably speak to that. And so she was one of my first friends I made after becoming a mom. And so it was really a personal situation like that. But the thing that I noticed is that a lot of them who are sending these messages, I would engage with them in the comments, which I would not recommend normally, but genuinely because I wanted to learn to kind of open that up, a dialogue. I would engage and I would say kind of, okay, how can I? Again, I would continue to ask, how can I speak to Israel, to what is happening, and not be anti-Semitic? Again, without that statement, that's what you have an issue with. Okay, disregard that. How can I continue to speak about, the atrocities of Israel and not be seen as anti-Semitic? And nothing was said. There's no more dialogue. And so for me,
The reason for that, okay, is because nobody gave, like, most of the people did not give a damn about your interpretation of Palestine. Yeah, the fact that you called it a conflict, bad. The fact that you didn't really know what was going on, bad. But again, your video, your statements, your defamatory freaking words were about Gila and Ethan Klein. No, like, I'm serious. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give two shits and a fuck, okay, about her coverage of the Palestinian genocide. I really do not care. Is it a bad thing? Yes. Fantastic. We never have to speak about it again. What I give a shit about is the fact that there's so much information out there that she could have sourced and utilized to make a well-rounded, unbiased video, and she chose willfully not to. Or what's probably even worse is that she's too dumb to be able to actually find the information on her own and actually needs people to source it for her, which in my opinion is worse, absolutely worse. I would rather somebody maliciously defame me than ignorantly defame me, because at least I know they had the right, not the right, but I know that they had the intention to do it. If you're this dumb unintentionally, like, how do you breathe? Do you need to, like, do you manually breathe? Do you have to tell yourself, okay, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out? God.
I start to fear that these accusations of anti-Semitism are more so a conversation limiter, a thought limiter, and not a way to, and there's no further dialogue beyond that. There's no further way to speak on, okay, again, Ethan continues to claim, I've empathized with the Palestinian people, I've spoken about Palestine, but when it comes to other people speaking about it, he will point the finger and say anti-Semitism, and he will not actually engage with you on how you can go about it in a
He literally engaged with you. You are a prime example of him engaging with somebody that he is accused of being anti-Semitic. Why? Why are you this stupid? He's also engaged with freaking Hassan. He's had a whole ass debate, which you sourced on your video, of somebody that he is genuinely called and believes is anti-Semitic. Your own video proves you're lying, proves that you're wrong.
Productive manner. And to me, that's very telling as well, that he does not actually want there to be a productive conversation in this way.
I think as well, like, maybe the way in which it's phrased from birth might, like, have upset him.
Okay. Let's stop right there, because when she quote unquote fixed her from birth comment, she said from the beginning of his existence. Like, she said from the beginning of his existence. I'm sorry. Does that not mean from birth? If I say from the beginning of your existence, do you not take that as from birth? Come on, stop.
And okay, appreciating that. But at the same time, as I mentioned to you, and someone has literally just mentioned this in chat, Israelism is a documentary that exists that talks about how undeniably there are schools for young Jewish people that talk about Israel continuously, that teach people that Israel is part of their Jewishness and part of their culture. This is something that Ethan himself has repeated, saying, well, 9 out of 10 Jewish people support Israel, so you're saying that anyone who supports Israel's right to exist is anti-Semitic. He himself has no problem with saying that, like, oh, every Jewish person, or almost near enough every Jewish person supports Israel. He's referred to many Jewish people who don't as tokens. But it's not just one documentary either. There are plenty of people who have made TikTok videos.
No, you are not trying to say that right now. The reason he has said that about Jewish people as tokens isn't because of anything. It's because of what they say. It's because of the people that they freaking align themselves with. It's the same thing when people say a token black person. It's because of their ideology. Like freaking, what's that stupid Charleston White, the token black dude, because he talks about how evil black people are, how dumb black people are, all of this shit. There's a reason people call him an Uncle Tom or a token. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're freaking Jewish or that they have oppositional views. It has everything to do with why they have those oppositional views.
Videos, especially since October the 7th, saying, hey, I was actually a Zionist my entire life. From my birth, I was taught that Israel was good. There's a couple of people. There's someone people who were raised in Israel. There are people who are not raised in Israel. Ilan Pappé is a great example. Ilan Pappé, I believe, was born in Israel, I think in around 1948. Ilan Pappé fought in the Six-Day War for Israel. So he fought against Egypt and Syria for Israel. And, you know, he admits in Israeli society that people are, and he talks about it on Palestine, as you mentioned, you know, that there is high levels of indoctrination in Israeli society to be taught that actually Palestinians are the inheritance of Nazi anti-Semitism, that they want to wipe out all Jewish people, that they hate you for the same reasons that the Nazis did, and they don't actually confront what the Nazis believed. The reason that I loosely use the term Nazi about people is when they practice a racial supremacist ideology, which says actually certain human beings are inferior, they're not worthy of the same things as me, they don't deserve to live in the country, I shouldn't have any empathy or respect for these people, they should be humiliated, degraded, and killed. That's what Nazism.
Okay, that's racism. Yes, that could also be considered to be Nazism, but that's bigotry and racism. Like, just because someone's a bigot and a racist towards some a person or a freaking a race doesn't make them a motherfucking Nazi. The Nazis believe in the purebred white Aryan race. It was kind of like their whole freaking thing. You know, white is right, Aryan brotherhood, the purity of the race, the Third Reich. That's kind of like the whole fucking deal. Oh my God.
Looks like not someone maybe making a comment deemed insensitive to Ethan. Like, I'm sorry, it's not like, look at your other content. It's about like feminist content. Do you think like Nazis are...
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah. Feminist content. Fucking this dumb bimbo, broaded, pink-haired, fucking goddamn liberal ass bullshit, dude.
Feminists? Like, it's genuinely like a truly unbelievable thing to sit there and express such high levels of emotion when, once again, you can look at Ethan's... I mentioned this to you. You can look at Ethan's reaction to when Asmongold said the Holocaust 99% happened. His instantaneous reaction was not to go, this is, you know, he's a Nazi, fuck him, you're an anti-Semitic Nazi, and just hatred and bile because towards him, when perhaps actually saying with a community that big, because he's one of the biggest streamers, you know, in the world, saying the Holocaust only 99% happened. That's like saying the Second World War only 99% happened. That's like saying... the Iraq War, 99% happened. It happened. Like, there's no two ways about it. If you think that there is a...
That's not true. That's definitely not true. First and foremost, we had the amazing lie, okay, during like the Middle Eastern conflict with Afghan and Iraq, of the fact that we were there in search of WMDs. Yeah, while we spent like 15 years there, never once did we ever recover or find WMDs. And for those of you who do not know what that means, it means weapons of mass destruction, such as nukes. Okay, massive warheads. That's what we claimed we were there to find, but yet we never found any. Coincidence? Huh, weird. You know what we found a lot of, though? We found a lot of gold and a lot of fucking oil. Yep, that's what we found. And you want to know who took all of it home? We did.
There's a 1% chance that any of these things did not happen, then you are saying something that is crazy, you know, and you are...
It's not crazy. It's absolutely not crazy. Okay, World War II, plenty of things happened in World War II. Yes, agreed. But also, there was a lot of things that was said that happened in World War II that didn't necessarily happen. That didn't necessarily happen the same way. I would have to go back and actually like look at some of the conspiracy theories that occurred or some of the things that were told. But anybody who thinks and believes that the freaking U.S. government, or any government for that matter, tells them every single detail about something that's going on in another country that we're involved in is an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. And they could probably sell you water under air. Fucking, what did I just say? They could probably sell you air underwater. Fucking Christ, I'm an idiot.
Are starting to engage and cultivate a community of really hateful people.
Really, really scary shit. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that that's why, like, when the word Nazi has meaning, it refers to a racist political ideology that preached racial supremacy and otherized individuals. And I think when people...
No. You're 99% correct here. The whole thing about Nazis is the Aryan race being superior. That's literally their whole freaking thing. Oh my God. That's literally their whole fucking thing. That was Hitler's whole thing. That was the SS's whole thing, is that white Aryan people were superior to all other races, especially the Jewish race. That was like, how she started this conversation off by saying he was an intellectual person. She started this conversation off, this freaking live stream off, by saying that, oh yeah, you're a scholar of what? I'm sorry, a scholar of what? Just because somebody is a racist, right? Let's say that, people hate, I don't know, freaking Indians. They're not freaking Nazis. If they're a black person and they dislike like a freaking Indian person because they're Indian, that doesn't make them a Nazi. They're black. unless they believe that the perfect race in the world is the Aryan race, then yeah, they're Nazis. Fucking morons.
Do that today when people look at another and they say, you have degraded my society and you are worthy of death for that degradation. You are worthy of expulsion. You are worthy of being sent back to wherever you've come to my society from. That is where I see the heirs of Nazism, not in all people who are criticizing Israel. There are, of course, people like Nick Fuentes. There's even a distinction amongst far righters. If your far right party was founded after the Second World War, generally you don't engage with anti-Semitism. If it was founded before, you do engage with anti-Semitism. This is why, like, Marine Le Pen, if you know who that is, so she's a leader.
She's so easily influenced. It's pathetic. Oh my God. This is literally just she is a perfect example of please tell me what to believe.
Of like the hard right in France. Marine Le Pen's father founded the party and was a collaborator with the Nazis. But he's also a guy who I think that this is correct. He tortured people for the French in Algeria. And this is kind of something that I tapped into earlier. Someone who is willing to collaborate with the Nazis didn't give a fuck about people being tortured and mass murdered in other parts of the world if they were racially inferior to them. And so I think just throwing out Nazi, because like, I know.
Well, hey, who gives a damn? Here in America, which, Madison is a part of, we really didn't give a damn about all those Nazi scientists who went ahead and experimented on children. You know what we did when we found them? We gave them a job at NASA. Like, who do you think, like Warner Von Braun? Not a very American name. Like, we literally gave Nazi scientists freaking jobs at NASA, and they helped us beat the USSR to get to the moon. Oh my God. Oh, this is what happens when your side's cucked. This is what happens when your side's cucked.
I know that this is part of what we're going to talk about, but like someone who doesn't quite understand Palestine as well and hasn't researched it as much as perhaps like someone like myself has, saying something like that and having a blowout and sending your audience to be like, this woman is an evil Nazi, get her, she's defamed me, she's anti-Semitic, she's part of a campaign.
That's not what he did, though. That's not what he did. You have zero proof of him turning around and saying to go after her. Like, if anything, I'm pretty sure he even said not to. Like, what the hell is this retelling of events? Like, we watched this. People, do you guys not understand that people watched this? People saw the debate. People saw his coverage. He never once was like, yeah, guys, go and brigade her video, go hate her, make sure to say all of these things about her. Like, that never happened. Why are we retelling events of this situation?
Against me is a pretty irresponsible and crazy thing to do, because it's not the case, is it? Like,
it is a crazy thing to do. Good thing it never freaking happened.
Nazis when they're preaching racial supremacy, not when someone just makes a fucked up comment, you know?
Yeah.
Or by the way, I just want to reiterate.
No, I know.
As I say, like, there is 100% a kernel of truth in that comment. And saying that, like, God, that's the most anti-Semitic thing that I've ever heard. When I think if you actually asked a lot of anti-Zionist Jewish people, that they would say, actually, yeah, my upbringing was heavily Zionist. I don't really know about...
Who cares? Who cares about their upbringing? He's giving a personal account of it being the most Zion or the most freaking anti-Semitic thing he has ever heard. Him. Not the most anti-Semitic thing that's ever been said in the entire world. His own personal account. Holy crap. What is this? You know what? Fuck this. What is this moral fag ass bullshit, bro? What is this? Oh my gosh. Ooh, woo. I am big old chonkers. I'm a good person. I'm a good white person. What is this bullshit, man? Fucking Christ. Like, I hate this fucking little twink ass bitch, bro. Holy shit. Yes, you can call me homophobic for that. I don't give a fuck. Fuck this dumbass motherfucker. Fuck the both of them. These two peas in a dumbass pod.
Ethan's personal upbringing. I know that his sister...
That is one thing I want to ask too. Not you, just like rhetorically speaking, because I don't want to say he feigns a lot of outrage, but my theory also, this is total sidetrack on this as well, but just blatantly putting it out there too. Because again, I consumed a lot of H3 content from their podcast directly in the preparation of that video. And one thing I noticed is he would often talk about The Godfather, or he went through a phase where he would be kind of like, about The Godfather and everything. And he, was very, he's a master poker player. And I think that a lot.
Oh my God. Oh my God, no. 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 Don't do it. Don't do it. I get this dumb freaking broad is going to turn around and be like, oh my gosh, he's this master poker player. He's a master manipulator. He's a master manipulator. He knows how to wave his wand and make the cult do whatever he wants.
A lot of sometimes I struggle to discern what is authentic and what is strategy within himself. And I think I also worry for his own audience. Again, this is something I'll continue reiterating because I worry for his audience more than I really care for him genuinely, because I
care so much for his audience. I'm doing this for you guys. I hate you so much. This is complete bullshit. You're sitting here saying that he's this master poker player, which he's not, by the way. He actually sucks ass at freaking poker, which you would know if you consumed any fucking content. Oh my God, this is pathetic. This is absolutely fucking pathetic, and I hate everything about you. I hope you you know what? I hope you lose so many freaking subscribers. I really do hope that nobody ever takes you serious again. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve anybody to be in your camp whatsoever. God. You know what? This is complete fucking bullshit, and I hate it. Oh my God. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna call it there, y'all. I'm gonna call it there. It's got an early morning tomorrow, so I am going to say toodaloo. We will be continuing this. Oh my God, I've already covered what about 40, almost an hour of this. So we got another 2 hours. I'll probably cover some more of it tomorrow, maybe. We'll be back with some more cruel ignorance, happy stupidity.